After a series of hard-fought skirmishes with air forces in the Normandy countryside, Leftenant Hartnell and the fighting men of the British 5th Parachute Brigade have effected a successful breakthrough the German lines. They finally have reached their assigned objective, Horsa Bridge. Known locally as Ranville Bridge, it was captured several hours earlier by Major John Howard and the men of the 2nd Battalion Ox and Box Infantry in a spectacular coup de main. Also having captured the Caen Canal, dubbed Pegasus Bridge, Major Howard's men have busied themselves with fortifying their position there as best they can, awaiting further Wehrmacht attacks. Major Howard repeats to Lieutenant Hartnell the orders given to him. Hold until relieved. Tasked with the defense of Horsa Bridge, Lieutenant Hartnell must do his utmost to fulfill these orders and accomplish his mission. Without these bridges, the D-Day invasion may well fail, so maintaining this bridgehead is paramount to victory. And so his men prepare for the inevitable German counterattack, as they must hold their assigned objective until relieved by the commandos of the British 1st Special Service Brigade. Hold until relieved. Hold until relieved. The British paras are led by 1st Lieutenant Hartnell and his grizzled but trusty Platoon Sergeant Levine. These men have led their platoon through a veritable gauntlet of German aggression, and now, battle after battle, they have reached their objective at long last. The men have been reorganized, 3 10-man sections, with a particular emphasis on submachine guns. Firepower is everything, but will it be enough for the coming onslaught? They will be bolstered by a number of support elements, including a Vickers team, a 3-inch mortar team with spotter, a sniper team for precision liquidation of enemy assets, a forward observation officer for offshore artillery support, less precise but incredibly effective, a medic to keep the men alive until they can be evacuated, a quick-fire 6-pounder anti-tank gun to provide a nasty surprise for any encroaching armor, a Piet team, though quite short-ranged, if positioned cunningly, it can prove devastating to enemy tanks. And finally, a universal carrier. This one was salvaged from one of the Horsa gliders. It will make for an excellent method of transportation for the Piet team. Rumbling out of the Normandy countryside, headed straight towards the Paras, are elements of the 21st Panzer Division, headed by Leutnant Deutscher in his Stug 3. His mission is simple: destroy the bridge and eliminate all resistance. A Panzer IV tank, up-gunned and up-armored. And while a worthy tank in its own right, its true value stems from the fact that uninitiated Allied troops mistake it for the vastly superior Tiger tank. In support of the armored fighting vehicles are 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. They thirst for revenge, for the Paras had slain their leader in the last battle. Accompanying the Panzer Grenadiers is 1 squad of assault pioneers. Among their number, a 3-man specialist team operating the remote-controlled Goliath demolition bomb. An MG-42 team for suppression of infantry, an 8cm mortar team for indirect fire support, including a spotter, and transporting the mobile force, an armored Hanomag half-track, and an Opel Blitz truck for speedy delivery of combat personnel. This is it. This is where the paras must make their stand. For from here there is no escape. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. For though it is not in the fighting men's nature to run from danger, the dagger of fear stabs at each man's heart as they hear the distant rumbling of German armor growing closer. The surrounding environs of the Normandy countryside are relatively untouched by the depredations of battle. All present know that it will not stay this way for long, and so in those moments, those quiet moments before combat, the men wage war with that most personal of enemies, fear, that ally of the enemy of victory. Knowing that the enemy attack is imminent, Leftenant Hartnell wastes no time and sets his men to digging entrenchments, stacking sandbags, and using whatever equipment and material is at hand to ensure that they have the best chance of repelling the attackers. Now protected by their fortifications, the defenders wait nervously. They hunker down, keep a low profile. But the Germans know they are waiting for them. And indeed, the anti-tank gun and one of the sections of paras form the first line of defense, while on the bridge itself, acting as the eyes of the defenders, the forward observation officer and the mortar spotter have used some nearby barrels with which to conceal themselves behind. And further ahead, in a thicket of trees, the sniper team serve as the advance scouting party. And so these mere few groups act as an early warning system for the rest of the force. The first to respond to any alarms will be the remaining two para-sections, the mortar team and the Vickers team. Hartnell and Levine outflank, keeping an eye on the battle from the sidelines, ready to jump in when needed, as do the Piet team, ready to be rushed aboard their universal carrier to brew up some tanks. The German forces have not been idle and have sent forth advance elements of their own, including the mortar spotter, who has a fine view of the hidden but not entirely invisible anti-tank gun crew. He has also slyly positioned himself such that the sniper has no clear shot at him. Clever boy. But the spotter is not alone, for a vanguard force has moved forward and assembled, ready for the attack, including one of the grenadier squads, the mortar team, and the machine gun team, who also have a bead on the 80 gun crew. Such large pieces of kit are very difficult to conceal completely from prying eyes. In reserve aboard the Opel Blitz truck are one of the grenadier squads, and rolling alongside is the Stug, commanded by Leutnant Deutscher. While working their way round the sides, outflankers position themselves to perform a pincer maneuver, including the two pioneer squads aboard the Hanomag and the Panzer IV. The first shots of battle are fired by the Germans. The German machine gun crew give away their position as they unleash a hail of hot lead at the anti-tank crew. One of the crew bites the dust, and moreover, the machine gun burst gives away their position to all and sundry. The first of the Paris forces to respond to the sounds of combat is the mortar team. Realizing that the battle now has begun in earnest, the German spotter calls in a mortar strike on the greatest threat to the tanks, the anti-tank gun crew. This, of course, gives away the position of the spotter himself and the mortar team as well. They launch a bomb. Though it misses, it's only a matter of time before the next salvo finds its mark. The German reserves advance towards the battle. A parasection rushes forward to lend aid to their friends.
Cure,
Wish I had me plimsolls.
Oh, plimsolls, is that what you lot call ballet slippers?
Quiet! Jerry's afoot.
If he's afoot, maybe he's got plimsolls.
Followed up quickly by the third and final of the para sections.
What's all this about plimsolls? I can use some plimsolls.
The medic and the vicar's team follow in their wake.
Yeah, shut up, unless you want a plimsoll up your bum.
The German outflankers continue their pincer maneuver, while the British continue their counter maneuvers. Expecting trouble but seeing none, the British parasection lay in ambush, as does the anti-tank gun crew. But first they must steady themselves after that onslaught from the machine gun.
Prepare for Jerry tanks.
The artillery spotter bides his time and keeps his head down. Seeing no targets of opportunity present themselves, the sniper team displaces into another thicket of trees. Though they cannot see them, the sniper team smells the stench of the Wehrmacht nearby. Casting off their concealment, the grenadier squad march forward double time towards the enemy. They find themselves between two stands of trees. The anti-tank gun is obvious enough, but hark, wait. What was that over there? Something rustling in the trees? The Paris trap is sprung.
Ha ha! Surprise, Jerry! Hands off our bridge, Jerry!
The Paris draw first blood. The German mortar crew continue their murderous bombardment. Though the bomb finds its target, the crew is entrenched and protected partially from the worst of the bomb's effects. Even Sergeant Levine, who is looking on from the sidelines, is impressed with the remaining gun crewman's tenacity. God, blimey! The sniper, now situated and settled, adjusting for windage, takes aim at his target, taking the shot. His aim is true. Tango down. The first of the paratroop sections on the bridge continue their way onto the battlefield. Descending off the bridge, they spot one of the grenadier squads. Just as the paras open fire, the grenadiers go to ground. And so the grenadiers are suppressed. Seeing the nearby anti-tank crew assailed by enemy fire, the British mortar spotter calls in a strike, targeting the enemy machine gun crew. A hit! The nearby mortar spotter looks on appalled.
Nein, schuldete mir Reichsmark. Running. Earnings were paid by the footsteps.
The medic follows the men closely.
Well, if you were paid by the wind, you'd be quite rich.
The entrenched para section continue to pour on the fire.
Keep shooting. Don't stop. Oh, I got one. Oh, no, I didn't. Up, runter.
The Vickers team set up their weapon atop the bridge. The British outflankers continue to move into position, as do the German outflankers. Champing at the bit, Leutnant Deutscher's crew are ready to enter the battle.
Vorwärts! Gehen!
The gunner fires at the anti-tank gun. difficult shot. The machine gun lets rip. Will the gun shield protect the gunner's life? Barely. Under withering fire from machine gun, mortar, and tank, the sole remaining gunner steadies his nerve and takes aim at the Stug.
Steady, old bean, you can do this.
Remarkable. Sergeant Levine cheers him on. Give those mugs what for, son.
Put this in your pipe and smoke it.
A hit. The hit sets the Stug ablaze. But the crew quickly extinguishes the fire. HQ continue to maneuver. The truck swiftly approaches the battlefield. Its passengers prepare to disembark. The forward observation officer calls in the artillery, setting the fire coordinates so that, with a little luck, the truck and the Stug, and perhaps even the mortar spotter, will be plastered with high explosives. And so continues the battle for Horsa Bridge. Neither side have yet committed their full force. Neither side knows each other's strengths or weaknesses just yet. The battle continues. Oi, don't be a mug. Like and subscribe, yeah? There's a good lad. The patters wait nervously. Did the artillery order come through? Here comes the thunder. High explosive shells come crashing down from the sky. Though not directly hurt, the Opel Blitz crew and its passengers have their skulls thoroughly rattled. As do the crew of the Stug 3. With the nerves of his crew quite shot, Leutnant Deutscher believes it is almost time for a rousing speech. The sniper team makes an intercepting shot at the incoming truck, aiming at enemy driver. Taking the shot. Superficial damage. Though not damaged in any real sense, the sniper's fire still, however, affects the morale of the driver and the passengers. The British mortar team launch a bomb at the grenadier squad by the wheat field, who go to ground. Not quite. Perhaps the next one. The third padder section exit the bridge and run into the tall grass. Despite overwhelming danger, the single AT gunner remaining continues doggedly to aim and fire at the enemy Stug.
I got him!
But will the shot prove fatal? This is the end for Leutnant Deutscher.
God, damn it!
God, blimey! What a soldier! The medic runs to seek cover behind the bushes, while the German mortar team seek to finish off the British AT gunner.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Well, it was a good innings. You bosh gits. You'll pay for that. The truck driver attempts to steady the nerves of his crew. But these are not frontline fighters, merely military taxi drivers. The grenadiers inside the truck also attempt to steady their nerve.
Wir kämpfen jetzt!
The Vickers team pivots and opens fire at the beleaguered grenadier squad.
Ah!
One of the parasections prepare an ambush. The German half-track is ready to initiate the pincer maneuver. The Hanomag makes it to the battlefield and announces its presence with a burst of machine gun fire. But not before the paras who have been waiting in ambush fire first.
Fire!
Though their small arms cannot harm the Hanomag, they do put pressure on the crew and on its passengers. It fires in turn at the Vickers team.
Feuer!
And claims one life. The Pioneer Squad prepare to disembark under fire.
Los, los, los!
The parasection is bathed in horrible liquid fire. A gruesome death.
Wer hat gefurzt? Habe ich.
Expecting more enemies to emerge from the Hanomag, the Ford observer sets an ambush. The paras make a break from their entrenchment and open fire at the Pioneer Squad.
Fire! Give him the beans! Only good Bosch is a dead Bosch!
2 casualties.
There's more where that came from, Bosch! Yeah! Bleibt in Bewegung!
The Goliath team make their move,
Raus!
but the forward observation officer is waiting for them.
Not one step closer, Jerry.
Ha!
Wasting no time, the engineers activate their remote-controlled bomb. Acting quickly, the Vickers team disable the Goliath. And a good thing too, for had the Goliath gone off, that would have been the end of the bridge and the Paras mission. The second prong of the pincer maneuver enters the battlefield. A thicket of trees stand between the tank and a clear shot at its target. But not for long. Now, with a clear view, it aims its machine gun at the sniper team and the main gun at one of the parasections. Not quite. The main gun. A hit! The heavy anti-tank gun packs quite the sizable high-explosive charge. Several paras succumb to the mighty explosion. But Corporal McGann manages to avoid harm. Such a loss is devastating to morale. Will the paras keep fighting?
We keep fighting!
The carrier attempts to get moving. Technical difficulties.
Oh, bloody this again! Oh, it's getting old!
Sensing a shift in the dynamic of battle against his men, Leftenant Hartnell pushes forward to support them.
Come on, chaps, get to cover!
One of the parasections advance into the entrenchment and keep firing at the pioneers.
Get our boys with you, Jerry! Well, take this.
The pioneers duck and cover.
Runterkommen! I say, they're ducking. Can they do that? Oof, most unsporting. Keep firing. Aim for their large square head.
But the veteran pioneers are unharmed. The Vickers team try to keep firing at the Germans,
Ammo! Come on, ammo!
but fumble about with their ammunition.
Ah, now pick them up! Go on, pick them up!
The mauled paratroop section attempt to get up and run to cover.
That's it, lads. Move those legs.
The Grenadiers' Obergefreiter attempts to galvanize his men to action.
Aufstehen, aufstehen! Schnell, schnell!
But how do the men respond?
Nein, 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 nein! Säge schlappen!
The forward observation officer keeps firing at the Goliath team. But his Sten jams.
Oh, bother.
The British mortar team continues to launch bombs at its target. The prone Grenadier squad. Still no luck. The medic keeps a low profile. The German mortar spotter spies out the entrenched paratroop section and conveys their coordinates to the mortar team. A miss. Though perhaps not next time. The Panzer IV continues its onslaught, firing at the sniper team with its bow machine gun. Get down. And at the British officer with its turret machine gun.
Feuer!
Hiding among the trees, the sniper team are unscathed, as are the HQ team.
I'm not ducking. I'm tying up my shoelaces.
The Opel Blitz attempts to get into the thick of things. The driver panics and reverses, making for a longer hike for the passengers within.
Feigling!
They advance into the tall grass and open fire at the sniper team.
Granate!
I think we've been spotted!
Feuer!
Christ almighty!
Burning with ambition to fulfill their mission, the Goliath team charge up the bridge and assault the Vickers team.
Erschmettere sie!
They crush the Vickers team with their ferocious assault. Having battered their enemy, the Goliath team push forward further onto the bridge. The half-track's gunner swivels his weapon and aims it at the entrenched para section. But will his fingers fumble? He aims and fires.
Feuer, 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 Feuer!
The MG-42 claims 2 more British lives.
You rotter! You'll pay for that!
Will the carrier make it to the battlefield in time to make a difference?
All right, boyo. Let's get this heap of junk moving. Go on then. Give it some welly.
The Universal Carrier finally makes it to the battlefield,
Don't bloody die.
and the Bren gunner begins to shoot at the Goliath team.
Scratch one, Jerry.
Ich bin hingefallen und kann nicht aufstehen.
The Beard team leaps out of the Universal Carrier, moves forward into a thicket of trees, and fires.
I got him. Right off the tailpipe.
The tank is knocked out. The disembarked Grenadier Squad, knowing that the bridge is imperative, charge forward the greatest of speed towards their objective. It's so far away, yes, but they must get there. The paratroop section readies itself to charge at the pioneers.
Come on, lads. Open at them.
They pounce on the pioneers. Get the first strike. The pioneers prepare for a brutal battle.
Hey, Jerry. I'll rip your face off. This one's for me old gaffer.
I'll rip your brisket out!
The flamethrower operator is slain. Having weathered the fierce attack from the paras, the Germans fight back.
Oi, that hurts.
The British paratroops are annihilated.
Lovat!
The pioneers move closer to the bridge.
Unsere, Tommy!
The Goliath team, though under fire, continue their bridge assault.
Nicht zu stoppen! Ha 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 ha! Angriff!
They assault the lone observation officer, whose weapon fails him for the last time.
Oh, bugger.
Oh!
The Goliath team seek shelter behind the barrel.
Das ist unser!
The British mortar team launch another bomb.
I'll get ya!
The Grenadiers go down. Sooner or later, Hartnell and Levine keep moving forward, opening fire at the Goliath team with their SMGs.
Blast them!
Too right. I got the bugger. Ich bin tot. Will they run or will they fight on?
Schlacht!
From his position, the German spotter sees few enemies, though up on the bridge he spots the enemy mortar spotter and calls down a strike on him.
A hit!
The spotter survives.
I survived somehow. Dear me!
Will the Opel Blitz crew regain their nerve and rejoin the battle?
Yeah!
They do indeed, and open fire at the British sniper team. Oh no. But miss. Flush with success, the Piet team launch a bomb at the Opel Blitz.
It's just point and shoot, eh?
Right-o, boyo!
And hit!
£5 says I blew him up.
No.
Too late. Pay up.
Deciding it's time to reposition, the sniper team move over, displacing nearer to the para section. As seen here.
Hello.
The Hanomag gunner opens fire, though the paratroop section is well protected.
Ersche Feuer!
But not a single bullet finds its mark. The British medic seeks cover in the entrenchments.
Quite snug.
The Bren carrier rolls forward and shoots at the pioneer squad.
Prepare to Die, Jerry. Or not.
The para section level their guns at the remaining Goliath specialist and shoot for all they're worth.
You're dead, mate.
Do you expect me to believe you?
Yeah.
Sure. No deal. Come on. You are disgusting. Wow.
That bloody Jerry has the luck of the devil.
The pioneer team keep pushing towards the bridge.
Vorstoß! Ja, ja, ja! Vorwärts!
They push hard, keeping the pressure on the paras.
Schießen! Oh, medic! Oh my God, medic!
Saved.
Calm down there, Johnny. It's just a scratch.
Determined to clear the bridge of German presence, the para squad charge at the pioneers.
Come on, boys, let's clear them off His Majesty's bridge! Swords off, Bosch!
Having dispatched the Germans, the paras move on to the bridge, claiming it as their own.
Think this is yours? You're next, mate!
But still there are more Germans, and they vie for control of the bridge. They keep running forward to reach their objective. But will they reach the bridge in time?
Wir werden!
The Bren carrier opens fire at the lone Goliath team member.
Shoot him, boyo! Shoot him! Just like that! No, shoot him! Not at him!
Digging deep, the suppressed Grenadier squad push forward
Vorwärts laufen!
and, running hard, almost make it to the bridge.
Oi, this is our bridge, Jerry!
The sniper takes aim at the Goliath engineer. Taking the shot. A miss! Unbelievable. Hartnell and Levine advance and have a go at the German engineer.
Blast him!
That's the way.
Goodbye!
Carrying so many explosives is dangerous business. The German mortar spotter intends to clear the bridge of British presence. But will the bomb find its mark?
Oh, no!
The high explosive bomb completely annihilates the paratroops. The German spotter has his revenge! The British mortar team rush over to secure the bridge. The Beard team advance out of the woods and take a shot at the Grenadier squad.
Let's shoot some Germans!
A hit!
You're dead!
But no casualty.
How does that even work?
The medic stays in his entrenchment. The Hanomag gunner opens fire at the HQ team.
Look out!
Wake. And so, we have come to the culmination of the battle. Horsa Bridge is in British hands, now, but German squads come hastening forward, threatening to overrun the bridge. But wait, what's that sound? Pipes. The pipes. The commandos have arrived. For announcing the commandos' arrival, Lord Lovat's personal piper, Billy Millin, plays Blue Bonnets Over the Border. Never was in his entire life Leftenant Hartnell so glad to hear such a racket. That song became his favorite until the end of his days.
Victory!
You look puffed, mate. Why don't you take a little breather, eh?